Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and it's that time of year again, the top countdown for the best cars I drove this year. They could be new cars or used cars, but they can't be any of my cars that I own. But this was a great year. We had cars in all different price ranges, and can you believe it? There's only 7 Mondays left in 2024. So this year, instead of doing the top 10, we're going to do the top 7 cars I drove. Glenn's Car Collection, 7 days a week now. So hit that subscribe button, notification bell. You get a full length video every Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern, and YouTube Shorts Tuesday through Sunday, which usually post at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to start the countdown here with number 7, BMW Z4 M40 with a manual transmission. Let's go to the review. Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and this car may look familiar to you. It's the 2025 BMW Z4 M40i convertible. Now, we had this for a short drive, a video posted a couple weeks ago. I got it for a very long weekend, and what's significant about this car is this one has a manual transmission, so this will be the full review. So now it has the same engine as my M340i X-Drive, turbocharged 3-liter, 6-cylinder, 382 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque. With the optional manual transmission, you get 19-inch wheels in the front and 20-inch wheels in the back. So the manual transmission option is $3,500. Gives you a stiffened suspension, a limited slip, bigger wheels and tires, worth every penny. And it's a slick shifting manual. I say it's one of the best manual transmissions I've driven in a long time. So we had it for 4 full days. I used about a tank of gas a day, and this was just an amazing car to drive on my home roads. What we'll do is we'll go over basically pricing on this car. We'll go over horsepower and torque, how it drives, how the stereo is. I'll give a full review with the window sticker, but just what you need to know in this video. Base price is $66,450, and as tested with this color, which is frozen deep green metallic, which is a $2,950 option with a $995 destination charge. This came out to $77,470. Now you can save roughly $3,000 and get this down to about $74,000 if you don't go with the paint. There is another green available that doesn't have a matte finish, but this is just such a gorgeous car. If you can somehow keep the matte finish, do it. This car got more looks than the M2, M3, even the M4 CSL that I reviewed last year. All right, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. We do full videos every Monday, and we do shorts Tuesday through Sunday, so you get Glenn's Car Collection 7 days a week now. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and give a comment of what car you want to see me review next. All right, so let's get in the car and drive. Okay, so now we're inside the 2025 BMW Z4 M40i. That's a handful to say, but it's a great car. So we have new for 2025, the manual transmission. You still have the old screen here. You don't have the new screens that I think we've seen in the M2, because this is kind of more of an update with the 2025 rather than a whole new, say, LCI update of the car. So if this steering wheel looks familiar, it should, because the same steering wheel I had on my 2020 M340i X-Drive. In fact, pretty much the same instrumentation that I had. Everything's really easy to work with the iDrive. Took me a couple tries to hook up Apple CarPlay, to hook up my phone to this car, and everything is wireless here. I just have, what I like about this car, because it was actually designed a couple years ago, you still have the USB and the power outlet, which in this case you could put for a radar detector. A lot of the newest cars just USB-C, and there's no more power outlet than new cars. Now, because this is an M Sport and not a real M, even though they fine-tuned the suspension for the manual transmission car, it actually drives really well. You could take your, kids, if they're old enough to sit in the passenger seat, or your significant other, and this will drive like a luxurious BMW that has enough sport in it to keep you interested. It's a very powerful car, 382 horsepower, same as my M340, 369 foot-pounds of torque. But it feels way faster than that. So with the automatic and its torque converter 8-speed ZF transmission, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Now BMW claims 4.5 for the manual, but in the testing I've seen, it's about 4 seconds flat. So you're really only paying a half a second penalty to get the manual transmission. And let me tell you something, it totally transforms the car. Not only do you get those beautiful 19 and 20-inch wheels, see, speed limit's 40, he's doing 29. Not only do you get those, probably on his phone, not only do you get those beautiful 19 and 20-inch wheels, but you get the retuned suspension, the electronic differential. There we go. Oh, he's just gonna stop and look. Okay. All right, so we're back. So because you don't have the latest iDrive like we had on the M2 or the M3 and M4, it's very easy to use. You have hard buttons for all your HVAC control. Apple CarPlay is very easy to use. Now, I noticed with Apple CarPlay, okay, it will override it. You can go to Sport, Sport Plus. You can either configure it manually or your options in Sport mode, which I think is fantastic. And very easy. It's a touchscreen too. So why don't we drive in Sport Plus? And that'll give you the pops and bangs. Now, even though it's convertible, it's like 95 degrees out, so we're driving with the top up. I drove to this location with the top down this morning. Now it's getting hot. So for wind noise and for I don't melt, we'll do, I'll lower the fan speed here. We'll do top up. So top up, you still have pretty good headroom. I am 6 feet tall. I have large feet, size 13, and I can heel toe with this car, but guess what? As you know, you don't have to. It actually rev matches for you. Now you can shed that feature off. And this car feels really fast, especially with the top down. You'd be surprised how fast it feels. You won't drive this car thinking you have to tune it or it's not fast enough. It's just so fast with the turbocharged engine. The shifter feels really good, like much better than the M2 I drove in the manual that you can see on this channel. Much better than the 2016 M2 that I used to own or the 2023 one we just reviewed. So I'm thinking maybe this has something to do with the collaboration for the Supra because it's really good. I haven't driven a Supra manual. I've driven just the regular Supra, and I know that manual transmission was really good. One thing I don't like about the clutch, and it could be because it's a press car, is there's no feel of where the clutch catches, and I don't like that. So I drove this car about a month ago at another location. I don't remember the clutch being that way. So now this car probably has another 1,000 miles on it of hard press miles, probably with people who are not really that good at manual transmissions, and that could be an issue. So I'm going to chalk up the clutch, what I don't like about the clutch, to it being a press car. Now, the 2025 manuals, from what I hear, they make about 3,000 Z4s a year, and right now I think they have 900 cars slotted over the next 2 years to be manual transmissions. So there's no guarantee you can get the manual. You should go to your dealer now. All right, so we can do a little acceleration here. And it feels, I gotta adjust this mirror, it feels really good. I mean, if you told me it was 3.5 seconds to 60, I'd probably believe you. So I think it definitely is a 4-second flat 0 to 60. BMW, like everybody else, is always a little conservative on their 0 to 60 times. So now what we'll do here is we'll run up through the gears, second, third. Again, this is a really good shifter. It is way better than the shifter I drove in the new M2. So we'll go up to third, fourth gear. When we get to this intersection, I'll show you the rev matching. Gas mileage so far is pretty good. I think you'd get probably low to mid 20s around town, depending how you drove it, of course, and probably mid 30s on the highway. Now this color, though it's gorgeous, the frozen deep green, I'd be afraid to own it because it does show marks and dirt really easy, and I don't know what happens if a bird goes on your car. All right, so fourth gear, third. That rev match was the car. That rev match was the car. So again, we'll go to fourth, and then we can downshift, It blips it, makes it very easy to drive on back roads and very easy as a daily driver. You do get some pops and bangs from the exhaust. Suspension is comfortable, even with those 20-inch wheels in the back. Very comfortable to drive. This can easily be daily driver. You do have some compromises with headroom. Like I said, I'm 6 feet tall. I can fit no problem. You could probably be 6'2", maybe 6'3", and fit. You can move the seat a lot further back than I have it. I like to sit a little closer than normal for my 6-foot height. Prices about $66,500 base price. That would be for the automatic. You add $3,500 for the stick, which gives you the retune differential, 19s in the front, 20s in the back, retune calibration for the suspension, gives you less body roll, and also retune steering. So you do get a lot for the $3,500. Most cars, like Porsche, you pay for the automatic. That was a rev match by the BMW. You pay for the automatic, the PDK, and the manual is free. Here it's the opposite, but you do get a lot for your $3,500. So essentially, base price is $70,000 for the manual. Then we're adding $29,500 for this frozen green paint. We have the Vinascar leather. We have the sound system. The sound system is excellent. I wish I could play it for you, but the what's it called? The Logic 7. It's very good. And this car, as tested, is $77,000. So you're still in the 70s with this car regardless. Maybe you can skip the paint and that'll get you down to about 74, but it's still expensive. It's not cheap. But if you're comparing this to, say, a Boxster S, you know, Boxster S's I see in the showroom have stickers of 100. Now you can go easier. I think the base price is in the 80s for that car, and every Porsche you see spec'd will have 20,000 in options. But you decide which car you'd rather have. All right, so now we'll get to some of my favorite back roads, and we'll let the car do the talking. Rev match downshift. Really sharp turning on this car with the rear drive. Even though it's rear drive, you could really accelerate and get the power down to the ground with that differential. And the shifter's fantastic. I love shifting this car. This is a really good BMW shifter. Good job, BMW. Steering wheel is thick like an M car. It's probably borders on almost too thick. I'll take it on some long drives to see how it is, but I know sometime on my M340, and to me this looks like the exact same steering wheel. On long drives, your hand would get tired, even fall asleep a little bit holding such a thick steering wheel. All right, so what we'll do is we'll turn left here at the light, assuming there's no traffic in front of us, and take that off. And we'll have a little run up this hill and then an acceleration onto the highway. While we're stopped at a light, I want you to mention two things here. One, it has a very good backup camera. We're going to scare the crap out of the people behind us, but excellent backup camera because the vision isn't that good. You can't see too much. You got the A pillars, B pillars, C pillars. You can't really see too much behind you, especially passing, so you really got to count on your mirrors. And it's got a decent sized trunk. The trunk is deep enough. It's not high because you got the convertible top there, but you can definitely fit some maybe shallow luggage or bags like this in there, multiple bags, no problem. So it can be a good daily driver, and just, you know, maybe have a backup SUV, or you could always rent something if you need to. Car handles so well, and the suspension is nice and soft. I still think BMW to this day does the best suspensions, where you get the handling and you don't have stiff suspension. Every other manufacturer, almost every other, Porsche does a good job as well, but everyone else, you know, their sport suspension is so stiff, it's almost unusable. All right, well, that's our video. Let's do a rev match. Car will be rev matching now down to this exit, fourth, third. And as we get slower, we'll let it rev match itself into second. Here we go. I'm braking, but not rev matching. There you go. Nice rev match. Thanks, BMW. All right, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.